All right, so this is what whenever you log in, I made up a name, Dominique. And so just log in, and this is how the application portal looks like whenever you first started out. And so we're going to go to colleges attended. And so right now I have Central Texas College and Texas A&M University as the main institution. So this is kind of like I base it based off of a couple of examples that we get. Some people attend or take dual credit courses their junior and senior years, and then they transfer on to their main university for their undergrad. And so I'll go ahead and start with the how to enter like an example of a dual credit course. So basically you want to start off with colleges attended page, and then you list your attendance dates for those those institutions. Once you're done, you would click, make sure you always click on this checkbox, because I do want to point out that in the primary major section, a lot of times we get questions about that not populating in right away whenever you enter the information about your institution, click save. It doesn't always populate right here immediately. That won't happen until you have clicked this checkbox right here and click save. It'll pop up then. So moving on, you have to fill out the colleges attended section questions, and then you can go into terms attended. Now for this, I want to point out that you want to make sure that you enter every term that you attended at the institution based on the dates that you have entered. So since we started off here with fall 2015, we want to make sure that we add that term. Fall semester add term. Because what will happen is if you list all your courses under one term and you submit it as such, the team members on the processing side will go ahead and return the application, so you can go ahead and adjust those courses under the terms in which you attended. So if you attended fall 15 through spring 2017, you'll have to list every single term. So fall 15, spring 16, summer 16, etc., depending on which ones you've taken. And so we'll go ahead and get started with the fall 2015, save, continue. Okay, and so for adding a course, we would click on here. Status for dual credit is always going to be pre-freshman, as well as with AP credits. It's always going to be pre-freshman, and we're going to indicate that it's a dual credit course. Let's say the prefix was 100. Course number, sorry, prefix, let's do English. English. Typical community college English course out here is 1301, I think. Course name, composition 1. And I get this question a lot. Is it okay if you put an O or an L? I think a capital I would be fine for the Roman numeral. Let's do English as the coding. Your grade, let's say you got an A. Credit 3, last time taken, yes. And we add the course. And then let's say we want to add another course for, well, for this example, why don't we go ahead and hit done? And I want to go ahead and get started with the A&M one. So let's say, for example, we had, along with dual credit, we also took AP courses as well. So based on what your transcript says for A&M, for that particular AP credit, you want to go ahead and list it as it appears on the transcript. Now, a lot of times I know that AP credit doesn't always show every component. And so if it has most of the information on there, go ahead and list it as it appears. But more than likely, you'll need to enter it as other science or non-science, depending on the course type. So let's go ahead and continue on with the English example. It would again be pre-freshman, because you took it before you started your undergrad. And then you'll want to make sure that you distinguish it as advanced placement or AP. Let's say your transcript says the prefix for this is going to be 100. Keep messing it up, it's English. 100 for the course number. And let's just say it has something basic like English rhetoric, or why don't we just do rhetoric? This area. Okay, so for this part, if your course listing for your main institution, in this case A&M, if they have this information, English 100 rhetoric, and it's listed on the course listing page as an English prerequisite, then you can go ahead and list it as English. Otherwise, go ahead and just list it as non-science. And then the grade, AP credit will always be a grade of a credit. And so it'll be CR. Let's say it was 3 credit hours. We get this question a lot. What if I took my AP credit, my school did give me the credit for it, but I went ahead and retook it again for my degree plan or something like that? Then in that case, you would list this as no for last time taken, and make sure that later on the transcript where it has the English course that you took again, that one is yes for last time taken. I'll add it, and then we click done. So those are three examples that I came up with based on the questions that we receive often. So that's kind of how you enter it into the application. Always make sure that you click save. This shows it's incomplete because I didn't add a course in here. That's why it's giving me that message.
So a couple of follow-up questions that have popped up, but thank you so much for walking us through. For pre-freshman, is that for dual credit?
Yes, it's for dual credit and AP because this is before your undergrad.
Okay. And then how does one jump from pre-freshman and on for somebody who graduated early? And I think you already mentioned this based off of that table in the handbook.
Yeah, so we recommend that you go ahead and list dual credit and AP credit as pre-freshman. And then based on the number of credits, but also know that for us in the classification for freshmen, it counts the first 30 hours that you took at your undergrad main institution. So let's say you came in with 40 credits coming into your freshman year of college. Well, you're going to go ahead and list your fall, which is typically the first semester that you take at your undergrad. You're going to list that as freshman, and that would be the status. And based on the number of credits that you have, in this case 40, it's not going to be freshman for your second semester. It's going to be sophomore because that's the credit in the way that you follow it for the status. So it is normal for you to have, in most cases, it is very normal for you to have your first semester just be freshman. Maybe your second semester is sophomore, and then you continue down the list based on the number of credit hours you have.
Cool. Since we're here, can you show me how I can track to see which of my letters have already been received at TMDSAS?
Yes, absolutely. So that can be tracked in the status page here. And this is going to tell you, I worked on this a couple months ago, but this is the page that you always want to go and reference to because it has all the information and the schools that you applied to, when you already paid for your application fee, GPA, supporting documents, letters of evaluation. So let's say I chose the 3 individual letter option. Those evaluator names are going to appear on a table here, and it's going to let me know the date received, whether it was received and approved. And that means it was received and it had all the components that we need as required by the schools in that letter, and it's good to go. And this is also where you can find your test scores. So it's going to show you your test dates. It's not going to show you the score, but it is going to tell you the date that we received it. And so we always want to make sure that we check here before we either call or send a message about the letters or scores, because more than likely we can see it here.
Cool. And it looks like you're almost ready to submit. How do you make sure to review your application before you submit?
Yes, we recommend that you review the PDF version of the application just to make sure that you proofread it, make sure everything is on there, everything looks good, there's no typos or anything like that in the essay portions. So in here, this is a homepage, click on 2022 application, and then a pop-up will show up. Again, for this to show up, you'll want to make sure that your pop-up blockers are turned off, so that way you can view the PDF of your application.